They said my jacket looked like it came from a dead grandma's closet. They said my shoes belonged in a thrift store dumpster. They laughed when I walked into my own son's birthday party wearing the same faded blue dress I'd worn 3 years in a row. They thought I was poor. They thought I was a burden. They thought I was nothing. But the day they found out whose name was on the account paying their mortgage, their car payments, their student loans, and even that secret credit card they hid from each other, every single one of them went silent. My name is Linda Parker. I'm 63 years old, and for most of my life, I've been described as simple. Simple clothes, simple house, simple life. That's what my family said. What they meant was not rich enough to matter. I live in a small, one-story house on the edge of town. Beige siding, old roof, chain link fence that squeaks when you open it. I drive a 15-year-old Corolla with a cracked dashboard and a stubborn check engine light. And yes, I still wear the same winter coat I bought in 2008. Buttons loose, color faded, but it's warm. It works. To my family, that coat became a joke. To me, it was a shield, because under that cheap old coat, I hid the truth. My husband, Mark, died when I was 49. He'd been a truck driver all his life, but what most people never knew was this. He was a quiet financial nerd. While everyone else bought new TVs and shiny cars, he invested. He read boring books about index funds and compound interest, while other guys watched football. Every paycheck, he tucked money away. We didn't dress fancy. We didn't go on big vacations, but Mark had a plan. Lynn, he'd say, tapping the calculator with his thick, calloused finger, one day, this will matter more than any Mercedes in the driveway. I believed him. So when he died, I promised I'd protect what he'd built. The account, the investments, the house, fully paid off. And then there was the life insurance payout. 7 figures. My kids never knew the exact number. I kept it that way on purpose. I have 2 kids, Tyler and Emma. Tyler is 35, lives in a big suburban house with white pillars and a perfect little lawn. They and his wife Megan have 2 kids and a golden retriever they call their fur baby. Emma is 31. She's a social media manager who wears designer sneakers that cost more than my monthly grocery bill. She never leaves the house unless her eyebrows are perfect and her outfit is aesthetic. When Mark died, they both cried, hugged me, and promised, "Mom, we'll take care of you now." I believed them at first. Then life moved on. It started small. "Mom, can you help with a little bit on the car payment? Just for a month or 2? We're short." Tyler. "Mom, my student loans are killing me. Just this one time, can you help?" Emma. I remember sitting at the kitchen table, Mark's old calculator under my hand, the worn plastic warm from my touch. I could hear Mark's voice in my head. "Lynn, use it wisely." So I did. I helped, quietly, just like Mark would have. I made payments directly. No checks handed over, no cash, just quiet transfers, automatic drafts, a call to the bank, a form signed here and there. I did it again and again and again. Soon it wasn't just this month. It was, "Mom, daycare raised their rates. Can you cover the difference?" "Mom, rent jumped. Can you help me out?" "Mom, we're short on the mortgage this month, but we'll pay you back." They never did. I never asked, because I thought that's what moms were for. I told myself I didn't mind. I had enough. I still lived simple, still wore my old clothes, still ate leftovers 3 nights a week. My kids never asked how I always had just enough to help. They didn't want to know. They just wanted the money to show up. Over the years, I set up automatic payments. Tyler's mortgage, partially covered. His SUV lease, I quietly sent money to his account every month. Emma's student loans, I paid half of them down without her knowing. Her secret credit card she thought nobody knew about, the one with late fees, interest, and panic attached to it, yeah, I fixed that too. All while they rolled their eyes at my discount sneakers and thrift store sweaters. The real crack in the glass came on Tyler's 35th birthday. He threw a big party at his house. Catered food, balloons that spelled out 35 and thriving, a DJ in the backyard. Megan sent me a message the night before. Hey Linda, the dress code is smart casual. No old church clothes this time, okay? We're doing pictures. That one line sliced me open. No old church clothes this time. I stared at it for a long time. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I typed, "Sure, honey, I'll do my best." Then I deleted it. I finally wrote, "I'll be there." That's it. On the day of the party, I stood in my bedroom, closet doors wide open. I don't own much. A few blouses, 2 skirts, 3 dresses. I ran my fingers over the fabric of my nicest one. A faded blue dress with tiny white flowers. I'd worn it to church, to one wedding, and to Emma's college graduation. I held it up to myself in the mirror. It fit. It was clean. Smart casual, I whispered to my reflection. This is smart enough. I put it on. Car keys, purse, old coat. As I locked the front door, I could hear Mark's voice in my head. "You look beautiful, Lynn." I smiled. That was enough. Tyler's house looked like something from a magazine. Cars lined the street. People laughed in the backyard. Country music blasted faintly from speakers. I walked up the driveway, my heels clicking on the concrete. I was almost at the door when I heard it. Megan's voice. "Oh my God, you guys, wait until you see what my mother-in-law is wearing. She seriously does not understand how cameras work. We're gonna look like a before and after transformation ad." Laughter. Someone else chimed in. "Is she really wearing that same blue dress? I swear I've seen her in that at every special occasion for the last decade." Another voice. Emma's. My daughter. "Yup. And that coat? You'd think we left her in the Great Depression." They all laughed. I froze, my hand inches away from the door handle. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I imagined turning around, walking back to my car, never looking back. But I didn't. I straightened my spine. I opened the door. "Mom, you made it!" Tyler shouted, walking toward me with a beer in hand. Megan's face shifted into that fake smile she used when she wanted to look kind in front of other people. "Oh, hi, Linda. You look nice," she cooed, her eyes scanning my dress like it was a crime scene. Emma gave me a quick hug. Her perfume was expensive. Her embrace was not. "Hey, Mom." She was already looking past me at her phone. I smiled. I always smiled, because that's what quiet people do. We absorb the hits. I handed Tyler his gift, a small, neatly wrapped box. He weighed it in his hand and smirked. "Aw, Mom, you didn't have to. You should save your money." Megan laughed a little. "Yeah, we don't want you to, go broke over a birthday." It stung, because they had no idea. No idea how many times I paid their late fees. No idea how many late-night emails I'd sent to their banks. No idea how much of their thriving life was built on my silence. The party went on. People drank. Kids ran around with frosting on their faces. At one point, Megan called for a family picture. "Okay, everyone together." Tyler sighed first. We stood on the lawn. Tyler in the middle, Megan next to him, kids in front, Emma on the side like an afterthought. Megan squinted at her phone. Then her eyes flicked to me. "Linda, can you, take a step back? The blue is kinda bright next to my dress." It wasn't. Her dress was neon orange. Everyone chuckled. My face burned, but I stepped back. Click. Photo taken. Just like that, I was pushed another inch out of my own family's frame. 2 days later, the twist started. Tyler called me. "Hey, Mom, quick question. Did you mess with your bank or something?" I was washing dishes. The sponge froze in my hand. "What do you mean?" "Our mortgage company just called. They've said the automatic payment got declined, and, the last 3 car payments, too." My heart slowed. I knew why. Because I stopped them. The night of the party, when I got home, I sat at the kitchen table. I opened Mark's old file folder, the one with account numbers, logins, bank contacts, and one by one, I turned off every automatic payment that had my name behind it. Mortgage supplements, car lease help, loan overpayments, credit card bailouts. I didn't do it out of rage. I did it out of clarity. They thought I was poor. They thought I was useless. They thought I was an embarrassment. Fine. Let them live in a world where I really am those things. Must be a mistake, honey, I told Tyler, my voice calm. Maybe you should call the bank and check? Yeah, he said, annoyed. I'm on hold already. Just wanted to make sure you didn't change anything. I hesitated. Then I added, Tyler, you guys are doing so well. Big house, good jobs. I figured you didn't need my help anymore. Silence. He didn't understand. Not yet. Okay, yeah, he muttered. Talk later, Mom. He hung up. I exhaled slowly. It had begun. The next day, Emma came over, unannounced, in ripped jeans that probably cost $300 and sneakers that looked like an advertisement. Mom, what the hell? She snapped as soon as she walked in. No hello, no hug. She slammed her phone on the table, screen glowing with a bank app. Navient just sent me a notice. My extra payments stopped. The balance is higher, the interest. I wiped my hands on a dish towel. Sit down. I don't want to sit. I want to know why you changed something without telling me. Her voice cracked, not just with anger, with fear. For the first time, I saw it. How fragile their perfect lives were. How much, I asked quietly, on your loans? How much did you think you were paying every month? She blinked. What? On your loans? How much did you think you were paying? She shrugged, flustered. I don't know. It's automatic. Like 600? 7? I shook my head.
You were paying $300. I was paying the rest. She froze. Her mouth opened slightly. I continued, my voice steady. I've been paying the extra on your loans for 7 years, Emma. She stared at me like I'd just spoken another language. What do you mean? How? Why? Because you asked for help once, I said, and I knew you'd never dig out on your own, so I set it up, quietly. She sank into a chair. You were paying them? But you shop at Goodwill. You reuse Ziploc bags. You wear the same shoes for like a decade. I know, I said with a small smile. That's how I can afford to help. Her eyes filled with tears. Not of gratitude, of panic. So why did you stop? I swallowed. Because I heard what you said at Tyler's party. Her face drained of color. She knew exactly what I meant. Tyler called again that evening. This time, his voice wasn't annoyed. It was shaken. Mom said, the bank says my mortgage payment has been partially subsidized by a secondary account holder for the last 4 years. And that account, that's your name. Yes, I said. You've been paying part of my mortgage? Yes. And the car lease? Yes. And Mom, are you serious? I could picture him pacing his kitchen, hand dragging through his hair, the reality crashing over him. How much? He whispered. A lot, I said honestly. But it's okay. I had it. Had? He repeated, voice tightening. I took a breath. Tyler, when your dad died, he left me more than you know. Investments, insurance, savings. I've been using some of it to help you and Emma. Quietly, because you were starting families and it felt right. He was silent for a long time. Then, so you're actually rich? I laughed softly. I'm comfortable. I'm not Jeff Bezos. But yes, I have more than my coat would suggest. Another pause. And you stopped paying. You pulled it all, just like that. Yes. Why? I closed my eyes. Because you laughed at the woman paying your bills, Tyler. Because your wife made fun of my clothes. Because my own daughter called me a relic from the Great Depression. Because in that house, at that party, I realized something. You don't see me as a person. You see me as an embarrassment with a debit card. 2 days later, things got worse for them. Tyler and Megan invited me over. They didn't ask. They summoned. Family meeting, Sunday, 3 p.m. Be there, the text said. I went. Not for them, for closure. When I walked into their living room, the air was heavy. Emma was already there, sitting stiffly on the couch. Tyler paced near the TV. Megan had a stack of papers in her hand. Printouts from the bank, mortgage statements, loan summaries. I sat in the armchair by the window, the old lady's spot. Tyler cleared his throat. Mom, we need to talk, he said. Megan jumped in. We found out a lot this week, she started, her voice sharp. Apparently, our finances weren't what we thought. Apparently, a lot of what we've been building isn't actually ours. I tilted my head. It is yours, I said. I never asked it for it back. That's not the point, she snapped. The point is, you were secretly involved in our money. You didn't tell us. That's controlling, Linda. That's manipulative. Emma made a small sound. Wait, what? She was helping. How is that manipulative? She glared at her. Because now she just stopped with no warning. And we're screwed. There it was. The real issue. Not that I helped. Not that I sacrificed. That I stopped. Tyler ran a hand over his face. Mom, the bank says if we don't make up the difference this month, the late fees are going to hit hard. We can't afford that right now. I nodded slowly. I understand. So, he asked, can you turn it back on? At least for a few more months? Until we adjust? Megan leaned forward. I mean, it's not like you're using the money. She glanced at my shoes. You don't exactly have expensive tastes. I felt something settle in my chest. Not anger. Not bitterness, clarity. I folded my hands in my lap and looked at each of them. My son, who saw me as backup. My daughter, who'd been cruel, but was finally quiet. My daughter-in-law, who treated me like a wallet in a thrift store coat. I asked, do you know why your father and I lived the way we did? They exchanged looks. Because you were broke? Emma offered weakly. I smiled. No. Because we were smart. I told them everything. How Mark invested early. How we paid off our home. How we never bought what we couldn't afford. How every old jacket, every reused coffee jar, every patched up pair of jeans added up. How much is it? Emma whispered. The estate? I shrugged. Between the house, the investments, and what's left of the insurance, around $2 million. Their jaws dropped. Megan almost choked. 2 million, she gasped. And you live like this. Yes, I said calmly, because my worth isn't in my closet. It's in my choices. Tyler stared at the floor. And you were using that money to help us, he said slowly. Yes. And now? And now I'm done. The room erupted. What do you mean, done? Megan snapped. You can't just pull out like that. We have kids, a house. You had kids and a house before you knew about my help, I cut in. You built a lifestyle assuming I'd always silently plug the holes. That was your mistake. Emma's eyes were shiny. Mom, why not just tell us sooner? Because I didn't want you to treat me like a walking bank, I said softly. I wanted you to visit because you loved me, not because your mortgage was due. Silence. I could feel the words sinking in like stones dropped in a lake. I heard what you said at the party about my clothes, my coat, how I'd ruin your pictures. You decided my value based on the fabric on my back, not the love in my heart or the sacrifices I made. So I decided to let you live in the world you created. Emma wiped a tear. Mom, I'm so sorry. I was stupid. I was trying to be funny. I didn't think you didn't. I agreed gently. And now you are. Tyler finally looked at me. Are you cutting us off forever? I took a deep breath. I'm cutting off automatic help, yes, but I'm not cutting off being your mother. Megan scoffed. That's the same thing. I looked at her steadily. No, Megan, it's not. You married my son, not my bank account. I stood up. My knees popped softly. I'll make you all a deal, I said. They watched me carefully. I will not let my grandchildren starve. I will not let them be homeless. If there is a true emergency, and I mean emergency, you can come to me. We will sit down. We will look at numbers together like adults. We will make a plan, but I will not pay for your lifestyle. I will not fund brand new SUVs, designer sneakers, or Instagram vacations. I will not be insulted in one breath
and begged in the next. Megan crossed her arms. "So you're just going to hoard your money until you die?" she sneered. I smiled. "That's the second part of the deal." They all leaned in, whether they meant to or not. "I've already updated my will. Some of it will go to you and Emma, but not all. A large part is going to scholarships for kids from working class families, the kind of kids who wear old clothes and still show up. Kids like your father and I once were." Emma's jaw trembled. Tyler swallowed hard. Megan looked furious. "So strangers get your money because we hurt your feelings about a dress?" she spat. I met her anger with calm. "Strangers won't ask me to shrink in family photos. Strangers won't laugh at the coat that kept me warm on night shifts while I saved for your husband's college. Strangers might understand that the value of a person isn't stitched into a label." I picked up my purse. My old coat creaked as I slid my arms into it. As I walked to the door, Tyler called out, "Mom, wait." I turned. He looked younger suddenly, smaller. He said, I'm sorry for the jokes, for not seeing you. I didn't know. I just thought you liked being simple." I smiled sadly. "I do like being simple, Tyler, but that never meant I was worth less." Emma stood up too. "Mom, can I come over this week? Not for money, just to talk. Maybe you can show me this investment stuff. I don't want to drown like this." There it was. Not entitlement. Not expectation, humility. "Yes," I said, "you can." Megan didn't say anything. She just stared